In my last video, I was talking about sensuality and turn-ons and our life force energy, like what drives us and makes us more, piques our interest and makes us get that goosebump feeling, the vibration, the orgasmic feelings. And I was like, what does make me feel that way? So I thought, hey, I'm going to create a video about my turn-ons. I like savoring things. I like it when other people help me savor something. I just ate this amazing chocolate cake that when I first had it a couple months ago, I remember how each layer tasted, and I was sharing it with someone, so I felt like I needed to savor my half because I knew it would be gone soon. And I savored what it tasted like on my tongue, what it felt like to mix with my saliva, what it tasted like when it first touched my lips even, and how it felt when it was going down. And just, I was thinking about the chocolate cake for a while. And I realized it's not about the chocolate cake. It's about the savoring. It's about the anticipation. And so I get really turned on when someone creates this sort of, it's like foreplay, but it's like maybe in that way it's food foreplay. I thought of this phrase because the other day when I went to see this musician who was playing at one of my favorite venues, he was playing with a guitar, his voice, harmonica. Yeah, he's a singer-songwriter, amazing. And before he put his harmonica to play, there was a pause, and we weren't all sure what he was doing, but he then said on the microphone very seductively, you know, they say that in order for the microphone to be, I mean, not the microphone, the harmonica to be heard, to be played well, you have to lick it with your tongue. And that just kind of made me want to lick my lips. And yeah, I just was like, wow. And he actually said, there I go, licking my lips. He actually said, there's a little music foreplay for you. I think that half the crowd missed it because they were talking, some of them, their first language wasn't English, but I definitely got it. And it's little things like that that turn me on. Like attention to little details. When someone picks up on little, he called it music foreplay. For me, there's foreplay in everything. I've created videos about this. I think everything is foreplay, and foreplay can be everything. And sometimes it's really bad foreplay. When someone is inconsistent about their phone calls, when someone is rushing to create this like fantasy out of something instead of taking the time to actually get to know you. You know, there's good foreplay too when someone is, whether they mean to or not, they kind of throw in like a little touch, or you know, they skim your hand, or they put their hand on your leg for a moment, and it's like, wow, I want them more. It's like I crave that more. And they do it just in the right amount of time. I feel like the chocolate cake was like the right amount of consistency. It was not too sweet, not dry. It was moist in the right places. It had a crust in the right places. It didn't feel like you were eating and stuffing yourself when you're eating it. I actually have some of it left here. I'm still savoring it. because I got one today. And it feels light, so it tricks you into, yeah, it doesn't feel, it feels good for you. And it makes you want more, but in the right amounts, in a healthy way, if you could call chocolate cake healthy. Yeah, and so I realized, like, I get turned on by touches, like sensory. I was talking about your senses and sensuality, and I think when someone knows how to tap into the senses to have you crave more, whether it's a writer, like I can really get turned on by books and writing that is done in such a way that it makes you crave more of it. Like you want to turn the next page and you want to know what's happening next, because the person, the writer, knows how to, play with your senses and your sense of hearing and touch and taste and seeing and smell. And I think like this can happen in relationships and intimacy as well. Like if someone, you know, I don't know, like gives me like a little bite or like a, a taste of what it feels like for their lips to be on me, or but it's not like full on. It's like then I want more. Or I love, because I can't reach the back of me, it's not as easy. So I love it when someone caresses like the back of my head or the back of my neck or my back, like especially the small of my back. It makes me feel really feminine when a guy holds me in a gentle but like strong way on my back. It makes me feel really held. That turns me on so much. I like the polarity between masculine and feminine. I like feeling feminine, and I know that it's my responsibility to be in my feminine and to, cultivate that for myself. But when I'm around a masculine energy man that can really be gentle but still strong and be compassionate and still direct and be a leader but not trying to get control, I get turned on so much. I get turned on by music because we are vibrational, right? And like even orgasm and sensuality is about vibration, and music is vibrational. And so when the right combinations of music, just like the right combinations of the chocolate cake or the right combination of touches, like the music can play with my senses and make me have goosebumps and have that kind of like draw, and I crave more of it, and it enlivens me. I think turn-ons for me are things that enliven me. I think in the past I used to get turned on by things that were actually unhealthy, like excitement over someone that took you on like these roller coaster emotional rides because you thought that was love. But now peace and consistency and planning, like that actually turns me on because it makes me feel like someone's creating a frame, like in dance, like creating a frame that I can feel safe in. When I feel safe, I can play, I can explore, I can be more open to being explored by someone else. I love that feeling of letting go. My name, Tasleem, means surrender. I want to be able to live up to my name, but it's much easier to do that when you're with someone that knows how to open up that safe space. And it turns me on when someone knows how to do that. When someone is not trying to manipulate you to like be a certain way with them or, play games or whatever, but it's like they actually hold that integrity in themselves, in their core, in their physicality, in their way that they treat me. Like that really turns me on. I get turned on by different tastes. When I think about it, like, I have been in situations where someone has kissed me and it's like, I thought I was attracted to them, but the kiss is very not my taste, if that makes sense. It's like the taste of the person, like literally their taste against my lips or on my mouth or whatever does not work, or their taste of how they want to show me affection makes me feel like icky. It doesn't make me feel good. And it's been interesting because sometimes I think, oh, the way that this person is holding me and touching me and wants to kiss me feels like what I would want. And then when it happens, I'm like, wow, this is not right. And so I get turned on by, I think it's a pheromone thing. People's energy can really attract or repel you. But in the past, I think it was coming from a wounded place. And now when I get turned on by a taste or touch or feeling, it feels like it's coming more from a healthy place. Like my immune system, my sensory receptors are actually picking up on what is good for me and what isn't. So yeah, I get turned on by smells of comfort, warmth. I get turned on by feelings like of touches behind my body, like the back of my legs, the back of my back, the back of my head, I think I said. But like doing it in small lingering kind of ways that makes me crave more. Yeah. It's interesting because I think of myself as a very feeling, tactile person. But sometimes someone doesn't have to even touch you to make you feel something. Like there can be the sound of their voice. There can be the words that they say. It can be the silences, like silences in conversation or silences in, sometimes I've connected with someone that like doesn't even speak my language, but there is a turn on by the way that they look at me or by the way that they smile. Yeah. I'm curious what your turn-ons are. You don't have to go into detail. I mean, if you want to, you can. But yeah, I find it really interesting, especially how turn-ons can change over time. Like what turned me on in the past doesn't necessarily turn me on now. And I like that. I feel like it shows that I've grown. And yeah, there I go, licking my lips. I must be craving something. More chocolate cake. I'm going to finish this soon. Thanks all for listening. Have a good weekend.